Well, the holidays are over. People across Central Texas are back at work and school. But all that holiday travel came amid a rising trend in flu cases across the country. So what do you need to know to make sure you and your family have a healthy start to 2026? Well, here to tell us is Dr. Kevin Smith, an emergency physician at St. David's Children's Hospital. And doctor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me here, Quita.
Well, first, let's talk about what you've seen in flu cases this year and other cases.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents saw this in their own children. A lot of people got sick between Christmas and New Year's. And compared to other years, it's a similar uptick. But when you think about how fast it rises, the number of cases from early November to between Christmas and New Year's rose by about 20x. That's a massive rise in cases, and so you just see it overwhelm the community.
Wow. Well, what about, I guess, vaccination rates? Have you seen those rise or fall this season?
Yeah, vaccination rates hold steady to slightly down at about 40%. So 4 out of 10 people get vaccinated, even though it continues to prove highly effective at decreasing likelihood of hospitalization and death.
Well, I know there's a new form of the flu going around this time, and they were saying that the vaccine wasn't quite the same. Would it still make a difference?
Yeah, it's kind of like Groundhog's Day. You know, is it going to work or not? But the variant that they're talking about is H3N2, and the vaccine was targeted against it. It has some changes that it's had since it was designed, but overall, the vaccine is still proving effective at the two most important things: decreasing likelihood of hospitalization and decreasing risk of death.
So now is still a pretty good time to get a flu shot, because I know it sort of comes in waves.
Yeah, I think we had a massive bump around the holidays, but we're not out of the woods yet. And generally, flu cases can continue to rise and ebb and flow until the end of March. Think about it, though. If you're getting a flu vaccine, it takes about 2 weeks for it to be effective.
So if you've already gone through the flu once this season, what's the likelihood of just getting it again?
Asking for a friend?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I think that there is probably pretty good protection for the rest of this flu season. That being said, vaccination is never a bad idea. The risk of harm from vaccination is extraordinarily low. And I think we all know a lot of people who experienced the flu in a hard way. And if you don't want that as part of your life for your new year, you might want to consider getting the shot.
Well, what's the easiest way to tell if it's the flu or just good old cedar fever?
Yeah, cedar fever has really joined the chat. And so the big difference for me is fever. Ironically, fever is associated with flu. Cedar fever is not. And so if someone has a temperature greater than 100.4 or they're vomiting, that's not allergies.
Well, what other respiratory illnesses are making the rounds right now, and what's the best way to just keep yourself from getting sick?
Yeah, RSV, COVID, they're still around. Adenovirus, rhinovirus, these are all things that plague small children who don't wash their hands. But when we think about everyone, the things that I believe in and the things that I practice are washing my hands, staying home when I'm not feeling well, and masking in large crowded areas. For me, that most important place is probably the airport. You're crowded, you're standing in a line, you're with lots of other people. So I wear a mask.
Okay, good advice and information. Dr. Kevin Smith from St. David's, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Quita.